Tennessee Titans are coming out and getting ready for this game with the New Orleans Saints. It is the NFL on Fox. We are outdoors. It is crystal clear, but it is chilly at 41 degrees. And now welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck. Troy Aikman and Pam Oliver are coming right up. Well, do you know the story about the Saints? It's pretty easy. They have won 4 straight. They have the #1 offense in the NFL. They put up a ton of points. And they have a quarterback who is the hottest in the league in Drew Brees, hottest not named Aaron Rodgers. And I welcome in my partner, Old 8 Ball over here. And I'll ask you about Tennessee. They've won 3 of 4. You figure you're going to have to put up some points today. And this is a big game for them as they figure out really which way their season will go.
Well, it is. I mean, I think you'd like to say, hey, your defense can slow down this Saints offense, but yet nobody's been able to do that all season long. So the burden really falls on this Titans offensive attack. And I think that the key is them being able to run the ball like they have in their last 3 victories. They should be able to do that with Chris Johnson. However, if this becomes a shootout, I think with an experienced quarterback like Matt Hasselbeck and the success that he's had against the Saints in recent games going back to his days in Seattle, he's capable of playing that type of game if necessary.
Most recently, that playoff game in the wild card round and that win for the Seahawks over the Saints last season. We get ready for football. We will hear from Pam Oliver before the kickoff. But coming up next, today's NFL Mobile Moment presented by Verizon. So on this chilly, clear day in Nashville, Tennessee, we get ready for the Titans and the Saints. The logistics of the game are delivered to you by UPS My Choice. Sign up now at ups.com/My Choice to get home delivery that fits your life. For the Saints, they must slow down Chris Johnson, or the Titans get pressure on the red-hot Drew Brees. What's on the line here today? It's a big game for each side. Heck, the Saints might even wrap up the NFC South by the end of the day. And for the Titans, trying to stay hot and stay in that playoff picture in the AFC. Football coming up next.
Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Right down to the field we go on this frigid day in Nashville. Here's Pam Oliver.
Well, today I heard everything from okay to uneven as it relates to this field and the New Orleans Saints. A bunch of players told me they're going to go with those screw-in cleats over the molded ones. The molded ones just a little bit too slippery. Sean Payton doing something he hasn't done all season, and that is come in early so the team can take a look at this field. This is a relatively new field put down just 2.5 weeks ago. Joe?
All right, Pam, thank you. There is Sean Payton, who is off the crutches for the first time since the middle of October, when he was run into, to say the least, on the sideline in that game at Tampa Bay. And eventually here soon, he's given up the play calling duties, but he will take them back over as that high-powered offense, Troy, has been getting direction from Pete Carmichael Jr., the offensive coordinator, Sean Payton, Drew Brees. Pretty good group that makes the decisions.
Yeah, Pete Carmichael, he's done an awfully good job as the play caller. I think with those weapons and Drew Brees as your quarterback, I'd like to think I could do a pretty good job calling plays too.
They've got something going, and they are the #1 offense across the NFL, averaging just under 450 yards per game, and Sproles has been a big part of it. And he has the most all-purpose yards this season around the NFL. What a great first year. And Drew Brees looks for him a lot out of the backfield, as well as his tight end Jimmy Graham in that group of receivers. Barones will kick it away. And off we go in Nashville as the Saints will start at the 20. What, Troy Aikman, as we watch Drew Brees make his way out to the field, what makes this offense so tough to stop?
Well, where do you start? You know, in years past, it was just Drew Brees in their passing game. But this year, unlike a year ago, they've been awfully good running the football as well. So they have great balance, and they do both equally good.
We're going to try and get a report from the sideline as to what's going on with Jimmy Graham. He is not in the starting lineup today as John Gilmore gets the start at tight end. Good start on the ground, 10 yards right out of the gate from Pierre Thomas. We look at this defense and they have had some injuries hit them. One of them has worked to their benefit. You see the group up front, but Troy, they really like their rookie middle linebacker, Colin McCarthy.
Yeah, defensive player of the week last week in that win over the Buffalo Bills, and he has, I don't want to say been a surprise, but he has certainly played well for him.
First throw of the day, Brees completes to his fullback, Jed Collins. And Drew Brees at the end of the play after he got rid of it took a hit, a completion of 4 yards.
It gets thrown to the ground at the end of this play, and obviously when you're talking about a guy who is in as good a rhythm as Drew Brees is, you've got to be able to disrupt some of that timing. You think back to that loss that the Saints had against the St. Louis Rams. A big reason for that was the pressure that the Rams were able to get on him, and that's going to be a key for the Titans.
On second down, it's Pierre Thomas who slips with all that talk about the cleats and the footing. But how about Jimmy Graham? I mean, he's the top receiver in the NFC, and he is limping. Doesn't look like he's running very well as he comes in on 3rd down and 5, and he's the first tight end in franchise history with over 1,000 yards, and he's got 4 games to go. He did not do much during warm-ups. Brees hits Meacham, and Meacham has got a first down in midfield, and Jimmy Graham isn't running well at all. He was limping in the background while Meacham made that catch. And let's take a look at Jimmy Graham, who goes back to the huddle.
Yeah, you can tell by watching Jimmy Graham come off the line of scrimmage. Obviously, he's much faster than that. And so clearly the injury has something to do, whether it be with his knee, foot, ankle, something is keeping him from running at full speed. It's obvious they'd like to be able to use him on passing downs, but if he can't run any more effectively than that, he's going to be very limited here this afternoon.
That's Henderson in motion, and the handoff to Ivory. And Ivory has plenty of room to run. He's got a first down at the Tennessee 25. Babineau on the stop, but a run of 25 yards for a guy who's been inactive 3 weeks in a row.
Well, they block down there, and then you're going to see the fullback, Jed Collins, come through and clean it up with the linebacker, Will Witherspoon. And what a nice lane Chris Ivory has. He's 15, 20 yards downfield before anybody even gets near him.
Now Sproles in the backfield. And he gets it for the first time and shows his speed. He's got a first down inside the 15, knocked out near the 11, a run of 14 yards.
Well, each of these running backs, and this is kind of the way that they've been doing it throughout the season. You know, really the last few years, it's been a running game by committee with Sean Payton. Certainly the case this season, but already in the early going with Chris Ivory and Pierre Thomas. In the last run, Darren Sproles, all 3 running off some pretty nice runs here on this first possession.
On first down from the 11, pass is caught by Lance Moore, and he gets it down to the 9. Finnegan on the stop, and Mike Munchak is wondering how his group, with a record of 7-5, will slow down this Saints offense, and so far they haven't been able to do it at all on the ground. 2nd and 8. Graham is out there. Graham gets it. And Jimmy Graham, with his knees down and a flag down on the far side of the field, gets 7.
Even that route right there, Joe, it's pretty obvious that Jimmy Graham is not well. And you know, Jerry Gray, the defensive coordinator, talked about jamming Jimmy Graham at the line of scrimmage. They did not on that last play. So even for a guy who cannot run, he was able to find a nice spot in that zone.
Offense number 74, 5-yard penalty, and still 2nd down.
So they get Jermon Bushrod, and that eliminates a 7-yard completion to Graham, who has emerged as This unbelievable weapon for Drew Brees.
Jermon Bushrod, the left tackle, who got called for the penalty.
Makes it 2nd and 14.
This is a real advantage, though, for Tennessee when you're talking about down here in the red zone and having a limited Jimmy Graham.
Pass caught by Sproles. And Sproles was wrestled to the ground after a gain of 8. Chris Hawkins out there made the stop. A rookie out of LSU, and now it's 3rd down and 6.
And you think about this Saints offense and the things that they've been able to do and the numbers that they've put up each week. A lot of attention certainly to Drew Brees, and rightfully so, but Darren Sproles, what a great pickup he was going into this season, replacing Reggie Bush.
On 3rd down, Sproles, it's an incomplete pass, so a hold defensively for Tennessee, as the field goal unit will come on for the Saints, and it'll be a short field goal try for Casey.
Well, that's a nice job right there by Tennessee defensively. They're going to get their yards, the Saints are, but if you can keep them to field goals down here, that's going to sure help out that offense in not feeling like they've got to go out and match touchdown for touchdown.
25-yard try. Casey nails it. So not having a healthy Jimmy Graham, something we'll keep our eye on all day long, limits the Saints in the red zone as they come away with 3.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Good return game for the Titans. Mark Mariani is back after the 72-yard drive put together by the Saints. Mariani last year was a Pro Bowler as a punt returner. And he waits for Morstead's kickoff. You don't return a lot against Morstead and the Saints. This one will be. Penalty flag flies as Mariani crosses the 20. And a player is down for Tennessee. That's Gerald McCraft.
Holding. Offense during the return, number 51. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down. Timeout.
And it's McGrath that is guilty of the hold. So our first look at Matt Hasselbeck when we come back. Saints up 3.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
McGrath just now able to get off the field after being injured, committed a hold in his 3rd season out of Southern Miss, and that moves the ball back inside the 10, starting at the 9.
Hey, let's do this out of gun. We're going to do it out of gun, okay? We're going to do it out of gun. Here's the mic to go. Look for D. Look to go.
Hasselbeck in his first year with the Titans checks it down. The pass is caught by Johnson. So good on the ground, and now a catch and a run of 14 yards. Good start to the drive.
Sure is. Last year's leading receiver, Chris Johnson, and this is the type of things that they like to do with him, you know, in the passing game. He's not someone who's going to line up wide and run a lot of different routes, but they'll run the swing passes to him. He was an outlet receiver on that play, one-on-one outside. He's a tough one to get to the ground.
We talked to Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator of the Saints, and he talked about the violent cutback ability of Chris Johnson. He just showed it at the beginning of that 14-yard catch and run, and now he tries to cut back, and Will Smith is waiting for him. Vilma in on the stop as well, and a loss of 1.
Well, you can imagine that the New Orleans Saints, and in talking with Greg Williams coming into this game, knowing what Chris Johnson has done, here in recent weeks. Over 150 yards rushing last week against the Bills. The key to this offense is Chris Johnson, and they've got to be able to contain him. So they're committing an extra defender at the line of scrimmage. Right now, here he is. That's Roman Harper, 41. But they'll have that extra guy up around the line of scrimmage throughout the game.
They split Johnson out wide to the right, and that is Chris Johnson. Nice tackle is made out there by Malcolm Jenkins, the safety, a gain of just 2. And so now on 3rd down and 9, we look at this offensive line. They really miss Kenny Britt on the outside. Nate Washington playing with a bad ankle. He is a favorite target for number 8 on 3rd down. 3rd down and 9. And that might be a quick and easy 5. It is for the Titans against the Saints.
Neutral zone infraction. 94 jumped into the neutral zone, causing an immediate reaction by the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
That's Mike Carey giving the announcement. That's Cameron Jordan guilty of the offside.
You know, it's interesting on that play. The New Orleans Saints defensively, even at 3rd and long, they went with 5 down defensive linemen in the game. Now, Matt Hasselbeck, as you would expect, a veteran quarterback, he knows that Greg Williams likes to bring different types of pressures, uses hard count to his advantage to make this a 3rd and 4 instead of a 3rd and 9.
Pass over the middle. There was contact and no flag. Jared Cook, the intended receiver. Jenkins got there early, but no flag.
Yeah, I did think he got there early. I thought that there should have been a penalty on this play. Contact made before the ball arrives, and I'm really surprised that none of the officials saw that. You can see it looks like they're trying to say maybe it was a bang-bang type play, but I think the Saints got away with one there.
So now Brett Kern will punt it. Darren Sproles so dangerous waiting for it for the Saints. Good punt. From inside the 20. What a move. How about Sproles? Down the sideline, a flag is down. Sproles is into the end zone. Here's the call.
During the kick, holding by the recipient team, number 56. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. 1st down.
That's Jolan Dunbar guilty of a hold. And that eliminates what would have been an 82-yard punt return for a touchdown. Instead, Saints have it up 3.
Today's game is sponsored by the Ford F-150, the only truck available with EcoBoost. By Kay Jewelers, every kiss begins with K. And by Nationwide Insurance. Nationwide is on your side.
What a huge call against the Saints. We've looked at it a number of times. They called 56, Jolan Dunbar. He wasn't even on the field. So that leaves us to sort through the replays and try and figure out who was guilty of that hold, which takes the ball back to the 10. Here's Ivory. Nothing. And back to the punt return.
We're thinking the penalty was on 95. Martez Wilson right here in the middle. I think that's where the penalty was on, but then you got Brett Kern, the punter, who was the last line of defense, and he had the sideline. Well, that old Sammy sideline there. Sammy Sideline's never missed a tackle, but Brett Kern didn't use it to his advantage, and Sproles just ran right by him.
Now 2nd down and 10. Pass is caught. That's Colston. Good for 7. We need to know more about Jimmy Graham. Let's go down to Pam Oliver.
Yeah, Joe, Jimmy Graham is having back spasms. He got treatment on the sideline. He got stretched out in the locker room before the game while his teammates were going through pregame warm-ups. He'll likely be limited the rest of the day if he can't get that back loose. I was watching him grimacing on the sideline, and he was trying to stretch that thing out. Back to you.
All right, he's out there now on 3rd down and 3. Quick setup and throw, and it's a 1st down. Pass is caught by Graham, a gain of 5.
Well, you're not going to have much success on 3rd and short against the New Orleans Saints. You look at them coming into this game, and they lead the NFL converting 3rd downs. And, you know, Jimmy Graham, there's a lot of people at home right now that heard the report by Pam Oliver and having back spasms, and they know what that feels like. You know, I mean, there's a lot of people with back pain, certainly, but imagine trying to then come out and play in an NFL football game. He's giving it what he has.
On 1st down, Breeze keeps it, sets up a screen for Thomas, and Pierre out of bounds at the 25. A gain of just 2.
Jimmy Graham, I was looking forward to watching him play at full strength. I know the Tennessee Titans were not, but this guy has had a remarkable year, and a 3rd-round pick, only 1 year of football there at the University of Miami, a basketball player. And I remember last year when they picked him up, Sean Payton was saying then, in the years ahead, we'll look back on the 2010 draft and say he was the steal of the draft.
Here is Breeze. There is the steal of the draft. Jimmy Graham on a catch. Good for 7. Let's go for a game break. Here's Kurt.
Minnesota's had the ball twice, fumbled, and an interception. So 2 turnovers turns into 2 touchdowns by the Lions. This from Matthew Stafford, 57 yards to Titus Young, turning all those turnovers into points. The Lions with their largest 1st quarter lead of the season. 14-0. Joe, Troy, Pam.
All right, thanks, Kurt. And for Detroit, they have lost 5 of their last 7. Started out 5-0. 3rd down and 1. Ivory, 1st down. This is a Tennessee defense ranked number 18 in the NFL. Under the direction of Jerry Gray, who is a former Pro Bowl defensive back with the Rams and the Houston Oilers, played for the guy across the sideline from him. And Greg Williams learned a lot from him, and a lot of it is that kind of in your face, we're going to go hit people and let them know we're here, which was their idea against Drew Brees and Jimmy Graham here today. On 1st down, Brees. What a catch by the fullback Collins, but it's for a short gain of 1.
You go back to Jerry Gray and the influence that Greg Williams has had on him. You know, Greg Williams is really the reason why Jerry Gray decided to get into coaching. He was telling us just the other day that when he retired from football, Greg Williams and then Floyd Reese with the Oilers at the time asked him if he wanted to be defensive quality control coach, and that's how he got his start. He's been around Greg Williams at various stops, and now he gets a chance to orchestrate this defense here in Tennessee.
It's 2nd down and 9. Delayed handoff, Sproles. He can get lost among all those big bodies, takes it to the 40 and gets 4.
He's one of those guys, I think, that now you obviously recognize what he's capable of doing. An explosive player while he was with the San Diego Chargers. They did not want to lose him there in San Diego, but good things happen when he has the ball in his hands.
3rd down and 5. Breeze. Pass is caught by Lance Moore for a 1st down.
It's just Lance Moore doing a good job of finding the hole within the zone. He hooks up. There wasn't really anything there. You're going to see as he comes off the ball, he turns there, nothing there. The linebacker, Colin McCarthy, working out towards him. He slides to the middle, gives Drew Brees a place to go with the ball, and they pick up the 1st down. It's nice as a quarterback when you have receivers who understand that, yeah, things draw up a certain way on the chalkboard, but when it's not there, sometimes you got to be a little creative, and Lance Moore was.
This drive started on the 10, play action. Breeze down the middle and now over Jimmy Graham. I've been watching Graham come off the line, and he's been able to get off the line of scrimmage with nobody in his face. I don't know how a guy is not physically right and you're not hitting him when he comes off.
Well, not only that, but the fact that they talked about that being a point of emphasis coming into this game, that in order to slow him down, this was before they knew they had a back spasm. That's one way to slow him down. But to slow him down, bang him at the line of scrimmage. He's not been hit coming off the line of scrimmage yet today. And he's had good looks at the ball. Even that play, he was wide open. Drew Brees just missed it.
2nd and 10. Blitz. Out of the backfield, it's Sproles. So good in the open field, he's got a Saints first down.
Well, what we've seen on this drive, Joe, is the Titans have been good on first down. We've seen a lot of 2nd and longs from New Orleans, but they've been awfully good on 2nd down in picking up good yardage.
Offense number 17, 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
They throw a flag at the end of that run by Sproles. They get Meacham, who was out there blocking, and it eliminates a 12-yard catch and run.
There's Meacham in the slot. Yeah, Cortland Finnegan. Cortland Finnegan's having himself another fine season this year as well. But now at least it's, you know, what can they do here? They've got to be good here on 2nd down and maintain a 3rd and long if they want to get off the field against this Saints offense.
Four-man rush. Brees nearly picked by Finnegan. He came off Meacham, and it's 3rd and 15.
Wasn't real sure where Drew was going with the ball on this one. Well, you might have been, he's trying to go to the outside, but there was really nobody. There was nobody in the area at all, and so, you know, that was an opportunity for Tennessee to be able to make a play on that one, but Finnegan just unable to make the catch. But you know, we've seen now with the throw to Jimmy Graham and then that last one, Drew Brees, you know, just a little bit off.
Now 3rd down and 15. 3-man rush. Brees over the middle, hits Sproles, and he won't pick it up. The rookie Akeem Ayers made the stop, a gain of 9.
Yeah, so another good possession defensively by Tennessee, certainly aided by the offensive holding penalty on Robert Meacham after Sproles had picked up the first down. But those are the types of things that they're going to have to do. This is, as we know, an explosive offense from New Orleans, a lot of different weapons, a lot of places that Drew Brees can go with the ball. But to hold them to 3 points on the first 2 possessions, nice work.
A couple of big penalties on that drive. First of all, the one that started on the punt return that eliminated a touchdown on a hold, and then another hold that erased a first down. Fair catch called by Mariani. And it's a 41-yard punt. Titans have it for the 2nd time, down by 3. Mike Munchak has watched the Saints rack up 126 yards of offense, 7 first downs. They had the ball for just under 12 minutes of this first quarter, 4 costly penalties and 3 points. Here's Chris Johnson, been on a good roll, and that's the end of the quarter. Picks up 2. 3-0 game after 1. Back after this from your local Fox station. Look at the difference in time of possession, ball control in general, and the yardage. Just a 3-point game as the Titans have it at their own 13.
A lot of times you look at those numbers, and the New Orleans Saints will be up 2 scores, 2 touchdowns.
They split Chris Johnson out wide again. Pass caught by Washington. Bad ankle and all. Nate picks up a first down as he gets 12.
Natural pick on the outside, man coverage as you would expect by the New Orleans Saints. You're going to see Jabari Greer's in man coverage, and as they release the inside receiver up the field, it creates the separation then for Nate Washington. You mentioned that sprained ankle that he's playing with, did not practice all week long. On Friday when we saw him at practice, Joe, it did not look to me like he would even be able to play, but Matt Hasselbeck said no, he'll be out there, and we're game planning as though he'll play, and he's that type of guy, and just got his first catch of the game.
Everybody threw a flag. Who's it against?
Ball start. Offense number 54. 5-yard penalty is still first.
They get the center, Amano, who's playing with a bad knee. First down at 15.
Yeah, that offensive line overall, though, they've been fortunate here in Tennessee. They've been pretty healthy. It's a group that has played together now for a couple of years. But right tackle Dave Stewart, he's the only guy amongst those 5 starters that's missed any time, and he's only missed 1 game this year.
On first down, it's Chris Johnson over the right side. And a good play made by Jabari Greer. A gain of just 2, and Greer did not flinch.
It's a nice job by Jabari Greer coming off of the block and then being able to make a play. And as we've seen, you know, when Chris Johnson has the ball, he's gonna attract a lot of gold helmets. There's a real commitment, and they've been able to do that here in the early going and not give Chris Johnson a lot of places to run.
Second down and 13. Hasselbeck with all day. Underneath finds Johnson. But he then draws a crowd as Dunbar makes the play, a gain of 6.
Chris Johnson's been pretty active, whether it's been running the football, but more so as a receiver on some of these checkdowns, taking away some of the things down the field. Hasselbeck with plenty of time in the pocket. But this is the big down right now for Tennessee. They started out last week's game not very good in the win against Buffalo, failed to convert on their first 7 attempts, and you know, they keep putting that defense out there. It's going to be hard for them to be able to hold up.
185. Hey, Ralph it. I'm listening. 185, go.
Third down and 7. Blitz. Hasselbeck incomplete. But a penalty flag is down where Hasselbeck went down. And it is a personal foul.
Yeah, and it
foul.
Should be.
Unnecessary roughness, roughing the quarterback. Defense number 41, helmet-to-helmet contact. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
See, Roman Harper is who they call. He comes on the blitz, and he's the one who got the helmet. There was contact, obviously. He was under duress in the pocket, but right at the end, when Roman Harper comes up right in his face, that's the helmet-to-helmet. You can see Sean Payton. You know, they talk to these defensive players over and over. You just can't hit a quarterback in that area. That's a big first down pickup for the Tennessee Titans.
And for the Saints, they've committed 5 penalties. 1 eliminated a touchdown. 1 killed their own drive. And this one extends the drive for the Titans as Ringer carries it, but it's a false start.
False start. Offense number 71. 5-yard penalty is still first down.
You know, I know coming into this game and visiting with Matt Hasselbeck, he talked about how difficult it was to prepare as a quarterback against this defense and Greg Williams. He said he's a mad scientist, does a lot of unconventional things, the different looks. You expect to see certain things based on alignment of defenders, but Greg Williams kind of goes against a lot of those tendencies and will vacate areas, so it makes it hard. Having said that, Matt Hasselbeck said, I feel real good about our protections, and I recognize what it is they're trying to do.
Here's Ringer over the left side. Penalty flag flies again. A gain of 3 by Ringer, but a flag is on the field. And this has been a staggered start.
Holding offense number 64. 5-yard penalty is still first down.
Now they get Leroy Harris.
Hey, come on, Leroy.
Leroy Harris is the left guard. He pulled on the, or there he is right there, and he's got his left hand on the shoulder pads, and so a drive here after the penalty on the Saints to get the first down, and the Titans are going in the wrong direction.
Now it's 1st and 25. Pass is caught by Ringer. Javon Ringer with room to run. First down. Inside the Saints 45. But a flag is down back at the 30.
Clipping. Offense number 64. 15-yard penalty is still first down.
What you see is not what you get in this game. A big play. 25 yards is eliminated by a clip.
I think it's a good call, too. You know, Leroy Harris is right here on Will Smith, the hit in the back, right here in the middle. And so Leroy Harris, he's arguing now the last two penalties on him, but both good calls. That was set up pretty nice, too. You know, they had offensive linemen out in front.
Going to end up in the parking lot. It's first and 35. This one's in the air and somehow drops untouched. Sean Rogers got his hand up and knocked it into the air, and then down to the ground it went. Now player is down. That's Hasselbeck for Tennessee.
You won't see that very often. A ball go up in the air like that high around the line of scrimmage, and nobody even was able to get a hand on the ball.
And Hasselbeck is banged up. Their first-round draft pick, Jake Locker, has had action in 3 games. And they're going to take a look at Hasselbeck. Odd start here in Nashville. So they look at the lower left leg of Matt Hasselbeck. And now we look at Jake Locker, who is in his 4th game of the season, the rookie. First round pick out of Washington, hangs in, throws, completes. That's Hawkins. And Hawkins, who had a mile to go, gets 9. And we go back to the injury to Matt Hasselbeck.
Yeah, at the end of this play, after Sean Rogers tips the ball and it goes up in the air, Matt trying to go after it to knock it down is when he did something there to the left, whether it's the Achilles or his calf. But it was on the push-off, trying to then make a play on the ball that was batted in the air.
And now 3rd down and 26. Just a 4-man rush. Out of the backfield, it's Ringer to the 40. That's it. It's 4th down. Martez Wilson was in on the stop. Malcolm Jenkins was there, and they will continue to look at the left lower leg of Matt Hasselbeck. There were 4 Tennessee penalties on that drive, with Sproles waiting for the punt from Brett Kern.
Well, if nothing else, enough time has transpired to where the defense for Tennessee was able to get some rest, even though the Titans didn't really move the ball.
Fair catch. Hauled in at the 20. So up by 3. Drew Brees and that Saints offense back to work.
Today's game is sponsored by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. By the Droid Razor, thin is no longer frail, only at Verizon. And by the 2012 Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Not a good day for no shirt. It is chilly and not a good day to pull something in that calf, and that's where they're working the left leg of Matt Hasselbeck as the Saints have it for the 3rd time.
You know, the good thing, though, for him, I would anticipate him coming back into the game. With it being his left foot, he's not pushing off that right foot. Pushing off and planting with the right foot would affect the calf and be very painful. Not as bad with it being his left foot, or left calf, I should say.
They're going to shut this play down. Looked like it was against Tennessee. We'll get the call.
False start. Offense number 9. 5-yard penalty is still first.
So they get Drew Brees instead of the defender coming across. Breeze doing too much under center.
Yeah, he looked like he rocked back a little bit. It looked like not only his head, but maybe even his whole body. Well, just enough. Yeah, and you saw the, you know, it's hard. They'll call the quarterback as they just did with Drew Brees. It's hard to, when you're trying to use hard count and use voice inflection, it's hard to do that and not move your head. But if you do, then the official certainly can blow it dead as he did.
Here's a toss to Ivory, running right, and a nice play is made off the edge by Werner. A loss of 2. Let's go for a game break. Here's Kurt.
Well, you've got a good second-year tight end in Jimmy Graham in your game, but this guy's not too bad either. Rob Gronkowski's 14th receiving touchdown of the year sets a brand new record for tight ends in NFL history. New England up 14-10 over the Redskins. Joe, I know Troy knows the value of a good tight end.
Yeah, name's Novacek.
I'm not even going to comment on that.
Second down and 17. 9 to go in the half. Over the middle, broken up. Pass intended for the tight end Graham, and the guy getting his hand up was Babineau.
Well, and again, you're going to see Jimmy Graham free release off the line of scrimmage. You know, certainly the Titans know this is the most targeted receiver for the New Orleans Saints. Jimmy Graham is, and Babineau is able to slough off of his guy and get underneath and get a hand on the ball.
Again, you're surprised they're not hitting Jimmy Graham at the line of scrimmage.
Especially with that bad back. I think contact would only stir that thing up worse.
3rd down and 17. Breeze. There's Graham, and he drops it. And in this 3-point game, the Titans about to get it back, and they should end up with decent field position.
Well, we came into this game talking about the Saints offensively and the numbers that they've put up. On pace coming into this game to set an NFL record on total yardage. Certainly Drew Brees on pace to break Dan Marino's single season record that's held up for 27 years. And this Tennessee defense, even though they gave up a lot of yards there in that first half, another good possession by them.
This is only the 19th 3 and out for the Saints all year. Came in tied for the fewest in the NFL. Mariani from inside the 35. Out to the 43. 11-yard return. Roby on the tackle. Here comes Jake Locker, the rookie, down by 3. Jake Locker, a tremendous athlete. He is a big-bodied quarterback. Played a pro-style offense for a couple of years in Washington in college. Had extensive work in the Atlanta game. A loss for the Titans. What a throw. Pass is caught by Stevens. And the best throw of the day belongs to Jake Locker. 32 yards to Craig Stevens.
Really an excellent throw by Locker. You're going to see Stevens. He's on the intermediate crossing route. And in order to complete this pass, he has to lay this ball perfectly over Will Herring, the linebacker, and he does just that. That's an excellent job of coming in, had time in the pocket, and just makes a beautiful throw.
Only Stevens' 7th catch of the season. And here are the Titans. Just outside the Saints 25. Handoff to Johnson. Nice play off the edge. Solid tackle by Roman Harper. And we go down to the field and Pam Oliver.
Well, Joe, you saw them rubbing down Matt Hasselbeck's left calf. He is also wearing a compression sleeve now. You could tell he had every intention of returning with that calf strain, but he's listed as questionable. Running back Javon Ringer has a finger injury. He is getting x-rays and is probable. Back to you.
All right, so Ringer has a finger. Hasselbeck has a calf.
And you saw him working on his drop, where he would not be effective as if he got in the game and he had to backpedal out from underneath center. That would create the most problems for him.
2nd down and 11. Johnson to the 25. So 3rd and long coming up. Jake Locker, who is, I mentioned, a good overall athlete, and the Angels actually control his rights in baseball until 2015.
Well, after Pujols, I don't know that they need him now.
He's an outfielder, so that's good news for Locker. He's not going to have to try and supplant Albert at first base.
Well, not easy duty coming in off the bench against an aggressive defensive coordinator like Greg Williams, but that's one of the things they like about Jake Locker. Say this guy is pretty poised, low-key guy. Things don't fluster him much.
Little pump fake out to the right. Chris Johnson delayed, and now one for the end zone. Incomplete. So close for Washington. He and Johnson came to the same spot. It's 4th down.
Yeah, and you ask, okay, well, why were they in the same spot? It's real simple, because it was a scramble drill. You've got Locker outside the pocket, and everybody's just trying to go to a spot to get open. Washington had a chance to make a play on this ball. He just didn't realize what was out in front of him. If he had of, then he could have come back to the ball a little bit and made a play prior to contact being made.
Yeah, what was out in front of him was more his teammate than it was Jabari Greer. Chris Johnson broke that one up, and now to tie it. High snap, and Barones drills it from 43. 3-3 game. Titans, Saints in Nashville.
Today's game is sponsored by Visa. More fans go with Visa.
Titans about to kick it back to the Saints, and for New Orleans trying to get their offense figured out and get on a roll. They've been able to rack up some yards, but not some points. 3-3 game. With Darren Sproles waiting for the kick. Sean Payton has to be wondering when Drew Brees and that offense will figure it out. He's happy to be off the crutches. 6.5 to go in the half. Brees has completed 12 balls, but only one for more than 10 yards.
Yeah, that's been the big thing that the Titans have done well. Limit the big plays down the field.
Here is Sproles from the end zone. Will take it out. They fake the reverse, and Sproles can make the 20. Take a break, come back. Drew Brees onto the field in the sunshine on a cold day in Tennessee. Saints start at their 18. 3-3 game, and they start with it on the ground with Ivory. And last year's top rusher for the Saints picks up 4. The offensive leaders. These pictures of them, by the way, were taken on another day as they're wearing different colored jerseys. Drew Brees has thrown for 68 yards. Sproles and then Jimmy Graham with 2 catches. That's it.
Well, Chris Ivory had the one big run, 20+ yards, but outside of that, Titans have done a very good job not giving up big plays.
Here's Graham. Graham brought down immediately. Out on the edge. A gain of 2 as Chris Hope made the stop. It's 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, Chris Hope and the rest of these guys, I mean, there's been a lot of good tackling that we've seen from Tennessee here in this first half. You see Jimmy Graham catches it and goes right to the ground. We've seen that throughout this first half. Not many yards after the catch for the Saints.
3rd down and 4. Extra men on the rush, and this one right into the ground. Back-to-back 3 and outs, but a flag is down at the 33 in the secondary.
Illegal contact. Defense number 24, 5-yard penalty. Automatic. 1st down.
They get Chris Hope.
They get Chris Hope, and it looked like it was on Jimmy Graham. They don't contact him at the line of scrimmage. They wait and contact him about 10 yards down the field, right at the top there. He's sitting on the route. He's anticipating that Jimmy Graham's just going to run to the sticks to pick up the 1st down and hook up. Instead, he's trying to get to the corner. He fools Hope, and he gets the penalty.
Here's Ivory. Nice cut. And a 1st down as Ivory, but a flag is down at the 28.
Offense number 45. 10-yard penalty is still 1st.
That's the fullback Jed Collins out in front of Chris Ivory.
Another nice gain for the New Orleans Saints coming back. Jed Collins, right there is the contact that's made on Akeem Ayers, and well, they're calling it pretty tight. You know, a lot of times you see that type of stuff, they would never call that for holding. You can see Jed Collins, he's not believing it either, but Robert Meacham, the wide receiver, he did a nice job blocking on the outside.
Breeze throws it right into the ground. Another flag is down. There was nothing there on the screen to Thomas. And now the officials will huddle up. With 5 minutes left in this half, another flag.
There is no foul on the play. All the action was illegal. Second down.
There's no penalty. They just get used to throwing flags.
Well, he tried to run the screen pass to Pierre Thomas, and Tennessee Titans, they saw it the entire way. They reacted very well. Just nowhere for Drew Brees to try to fit that ball in.
Second down and 20. Ivory over the right side. Nothing out there. And a nice play by Hope again.
And you can sense this defense is getting more and more confident as this game goes along. You've got to believe that defensively, as I said, facing this offense, you know, there's some concern as to how you're going to hold up. But the more success you start to have, the more confidence you begin to have. This crowd's gotten into it.
Look at the difference in the numbers this season, indoors to outdoors on a chilly day. These Saints are 2-2 away from a protective roof. Third down and 19. Underneath, it's Thomas. Fourth down. Just a 5-yard gain, and Ayers, the rookie, was there for the tackle.
Well, I know offensively for the Saints, you know, when you're accustomed to making big plays, you're accustomed to having success, it's easy for the offensive players to get frustrated, particularly the quarterback, Drew Brees, and that's what he's got to guard against. A nice job recognizing it's not there. Don't force anything. Come underneath and be patient.
Morstead hits it. It was nearly blocked. Mariani from about the 21. Breaks a couple of tackles out to the 29. This was supposed to be a transitional year for these Titans. They're 7-5. Big game today, tied with the Saints. Take a look at the playoff picture and why today is so big for Tennessee. You see the division leaders. Right now, Cincinnati and Baltimore, the wild card leaders. Pittsburgh's a game in front in the North because of that game on Thursday night. But there's Tennessee right there locked up with Oakland, the Jets, Cincinnati at 7-5. Mike Reinfeldt, the GM in this front office, had a great draft. Mike Munchak in his first year as head coach, and as I said, this was supposed to be a transitional year, but you get a win today, you go to 8-5, you knock off the Saints, you look at the schedule, they'd be in a good position. Locker, the rookie, bounces it in the direction of Damian Williams.
No, I think you're right on all those accounts, Joe. I mean, you look at the season that Tennessee has had in the last couple of weeks to stay alive in this whole playoff picture. They've needed to win. They've had their backs against the wall, and they've been able to do that. And it's a team that through that process has really gained some confidence. And, you know, a lot of changes for this Tennessee organization. Jeff Fisher been around a long time around here, and then offensive coordinator, new Chris Palmer, new offensive line coach, but they've come together well here in recent weeks.
17 seasons Fisher was here, and Locker got out of trouble and got rid of the football in the direction of Craig Stevens, who has a 32-yard catch in this game, and now it's third down and 10, and the Saints trying to get something going defensively.
Seeing Roman Harper very active in this game, up around the line of scrimmage and bringing the blitzes, and whatever Greg Williams had anticipated as far as his pressure packages, they've just taken priority against the young quarterback.
Now third and 10. Movement It'll be 3rd and 15.
False start. Offense number 71. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
You get the big left tackle again. One guy that this coaching staff is proud of a lot. The young quarterback coach that Matt Hasselbeck talked to us about, Dowell Loggins, who has really been a nice confidant for Matt Hasselbeck and now is trying to tutor the rookie Jake Locker, and it's all on number 10 right now.
And I'm glad somebody introduced me to him in the hall the other day, because I would not have taken him for a coach on that staff. He is a young, I don't know how old he is, but he looks a lot younger than he is.
Because we're getting older. 3rd down and 15. Underneath, it's Johnson. A lot of room to go, and he won't get the 1st down. Nice play made by Junior Gillette. Tracy Porter was in on the stop as well, and a timeout is taken by the Saints. Stop the clock with 3 minutes 15 seconds left. That's their first timeout. About to get it back. This January, Fox returns to the Octagon with an incredible UFC Fight Night triple header. Some of the UFC's best fighters will battle for a shot at the title, headlined by former light heavyweight champion Rashad Evans and undefeated Phil Davis, plus 2 explosive middleweight bouts. UFC Fight Night on Fox, triple header live from Chicago on Saturday, January 28th at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. By that time, we'll know who will be representing the AFC and the NFC in Super Bowl 46. Saints won it all in 2009. Packers, the undefeated Packers, won it all last year. They play later today at home against the Raiders. From inside the 20, Sproles got a nice block. Unbelievably, there are no flags. And after the 48-yard punt, the Saints will start across their own 30. So, Mr. Aikman, what have we seen so far here this afternoon?
Well, I think if you're Tennessee, you got to feel really good about this. I mean, as we said, they've given up the yardage there in the first quarter, but the last couple of possessions defensively, they've been awfully good. I'm a little surprised Tennessee hasn't run the ball better than they have. As I said, you know, defensively for the Saints, they've really struggled. One of the worst defenses against the run in all of football, yet they've bottled up Chris Johnson very well.
Yeah, he only has 5 carries for 5 yards.
I'll tell you what Sean Payton's mindset is, though, calling that timeout with 3.5 minutes to play.
Here's Sproles out of the backfield and a lot of room. Out across midfield into Tennessee territory. Griffin on the stop with a catch and run of 21 yards. And now the Saints have plenty of time. The clock is not a factor at all. They have a tough time setting the ball down, so they restart the play clock. On 1st down, Colston to the 41. And they can, like we've seen with the Packers, get down a field awfully fast.
Well, as good as they've run the ball, still their passing game in a lot of ways is a ball control style of passing.
Underneath, and there's another one for Sproles. Really nothing down the field, but a flag is thrown back at midfield.
Holding offense number 74. 10-yard penalty is still 2nd down.
That's Bushrod, and that eliminates a 19-yard play to Darren Sproles.
That's a couple big plays now to Darren Sproles that have been called back because of penalties, and so you're looking at a 2nd and short. Here's Jermon Bushrod, number 74, who it was called on at the very end. I mean, there was a whole lot there. You got them going to the ground, but yet they get Bushrod for the penalty.
It'll be 2nd down and 12 at midfield when we come back. 2-minute warning. There have already been 15 penalties called in this first half. 16 is the most and a half this season. That last one on Bushrod, there wasn't much there. On 2nd down the field for Moore. Incomplete. Tried to make an adjustment on it at the 15, covered by Chris Hawkins, the rookie.
And Lance Moore, he had a step on him. Breeze gets to him late. But you see right there, the out route, Hawkins starts to jump it. He was beaten, but the ball being underthrown, Lance Moore trying to come back and make a play, and Hawkins gets his hands on it just in time.
Now 3rd down. Three-man rush. Breeze fires a fastball for a 1st down to Marcus Colston.
Yeah, that's the thing you have to weigh if you're defensive coordinator Jerry Gray. You know, do you bring pressure and expose your defensive backs, or do you try to play coverage? 3-man rush, plenty of time for Breeze to pick it apart.
Now on 1st down, over the middle, wide open Graham. Jimmy Graham, bad back and all, down to the 5.
I'm not believing what I've watched here in the 1st half by Tennessee defensively as far as how they're playing Jimmy Graham. They have not touched him coming off the line of scrimmage one time that I've seen.
Here are the last 2 catches. The first one by Colston.
Well, here's the 3-man rush, and so you see the pocket that's provided for Drew Brees. Just a really pretty easy pitch and catch there for the 1st down. And this is the last play to Jimmy Graham. Free release off the line of scrimmage. Nobody touches him. He runs into the seam against that zone. And as long as they're playing that coverage and he's getting releases like that, Drew Brees will pick that apart all day.
That is a 33-yard completion. Longest play of the day. Tennessee takes a timeout with 1:11 left in the half. It'll be 1st and goal from the 5. Graham goes to the sideline.
You'd like to think that that back is loosening up for Jimmy Graham, but just watching him, I mean, he ran pretty well on that last reception, but he still looks like he's laboring, you know, with that back. Yet the Titans have not contested anything he's done coming off the ball.
Not been physical with him at all. Breeze is looking for Sproles, not there. Now Breeze is brought to the ground by Klug. And he leads this team, the rookie does, at sack number 5. Part of that great draft class from 2011.
Well, they want to throw it to Sproles, but the linebacker takes it away at the last minute. So Breeze has to get off of that. And then you get the pressure on the backside by Klug that gets him to the ground. You can see good man-to-man coverage there by the Tennessee Titans.
Klug finally got there, a loss of 7. Sack number 5, and it's 2nd and goal with the ball back outside the 10 at the 12. You think about this draft with Casey, who they like, Ayers, McCarthy, who's taken over in the middle, Jake Locker, their quarterback they got in the 1st round. 2nd and goal. They fake it. Sproles knocked down immediately. And it was Verner who made the play.
That's a nice job, Altron Verner. He's getting his opportunity to play because of the injury to Jason McCourty. And we've seen a couple times now him come up and make a tackle like that. Not easy to do. Sproles never got turned around and was able to then use his speed and quickness to get up the field, but Verner was right there.
McCourty out with a concussion. Verner gets the start. 3rd down and goal. And the Saints will use a timeout. And that's their final timeout of the half. Coming up, it's the Visa halftime report. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy talk about the Patriots in D.C. The Jets are playing Kansas City. And a lot of important scores and games happening here in Week 14.
Well, you look at this Tennessee defense here in this 1st half, and they've been good, you know, as far as not giving up points for the most part throughout this season. And you know, to give up the yards that they've given up, and on this drive to potentially hold the Saints to a field goal, and if they're able to go in at halftime down just 6-3, I feel awfully good about that. This is the Saints offense averaging 32 points a game coming into this game.
This is the best third down offense in the NFL. Today 5 for 9. It's 3rd and goal. Three-man rush. Breeze, end zone incomplete for Lance Moore.
It was a well-thrown ball by Drew Brees, too. Lance Moore, he's going to get a free release off the line of scrimmage as well. He starts like he's going to go to the middle. He comes back out of it, and that ball was perfectly thrown by Drew Brees. Chris Hope was the guy trying to make a play on it, but that's a ball Lance Moore needs to catch.
29-yard try by Casey. Saints have been inside the red zone twice. And they have 2 field goals barely. That one just sneaks in. And the Saints have a 3-point lead with only 15 seconds left in the half. We look ahead to next week. And the game's on the NFL on Fox. Redskins at the Giants will be there. These Saints will be at the Vikings. Packers at the Chiefs. Will they still be undefeated? They play later today against Oakland. Late game, Detroit, and those Raiders. And that starts with the Built Ford Tough Fox NFL Sunday pregame show beginning at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific.
Well, you see Drew Brees right here on the sidelines, and that's a frustrated quarterback right there. And that goes back to what I said. I mean, Drew Brees has had so much success. This offense has had so much success, not just this year, but over the last several years. And it's hard sometimes in this type of game when you're not capitalizing on some of the plays that you have available to you. We've seen Sproles, big plays, ball comes back because of penalty. But to only score 2 field goals here in the first 30 minutes of this game, that then starts to take a toll on really the mindset of a quarterback and how they then approach things in the second half of this game.
Morstead leads the league in touchbacks. Mariani waiting deep. Line drive. Mariani from about the 1. Out to the 20, that's it. Well covered. Courtney Roby, who was one of their special teams aces downfield, to make the stop, and now just 9 seconds remain. This will be a 6-3 game at the half. Nothing to be done for Jake Locker, who took over after Hasselbeck left with a left calf injury. It's going to be up to Locker, the rookie, in the second half, it appears, if the Titans are going to get a win here at home and beat the Saints. It is a 6-3 game. Saints on top at the half. Visa halftime is coming up. Hand it right off. Kurt and the guys, it's all yours.